Hi, in this video, I'm going to share with you some ideas for developing an essay outline, and I will be using an example from CAES 1000. So first of all, I would like you to think about why you need to come up with an essay outline first. So I would say the objective is to determine a stance based on your research and nail down your arguments that are supported by academic sources. Right. So in this process of developing your essay outline, you will be analyzing the sources, putting ideas together or removing them or grouping ideas. And when you use an outline, it will allow more flexibility. Okay, you can really move things around and do a lot of amendments. And when you have the ideas on an outline, you can see the logical flow more clearly. Okay, so here is a suggestion on a framework for developing an outline. The first step is to think about the task itself, that is to analyze the question, okay? And then to get into your research, okay? Going through the sources and writing down notes. And then formulate your main stance based on those sources that you have gathered. And of course, finally, you will have outline. Okay, let's look at an example from CAES 1000. This is an essay question. You will need to look closely at all the keywords. So for example, evaluate, yeah, that's one. You see the extent to which this is an indication that you will be expressing how much you agree with an idea. And then higher education should be expanded in Hong Kong. Let's look at this in Hong Kong first, all right? So, so there is a very specific context that you discuss this question that is in Hong Kong. Okay, higher education is another one. Yeah, so you will need to understand what does higher education consist of in Hong Kong. Yeah, so when you read up on higher education in Hong Kong, you have to ask yourself, what is happening to this sector in Hong Kong? Has it been already expanding or has it been shrinking? Why is it the case? So when you read about what is happening, a lot of the information will be very useful to formulate your background in your introduction. Okay, the next stage is doing your research. And when you do research, you should also be jotting down notes in a structured way. Okay, this is an example. You can see on this side, I have arguments that problematize the expansion of higher education in Hong Kong. And on this side, these are the ideas that support expansion. So I put down the source ideas and the source itself. Okay, so I have the sources indicated for all the information I've gathered, so I won't mix them up. Now here is an example of an essay outline. I have already decided on the main stance here. Higher education in Hong Kong should be expanded to a large extent. Okay, and everything, all the arguments should be pointing to support this main stance. Okay, so you can see I have two main arguments here, A1 and A2, and both of them are supported by sources. Okay, the first argument is that higher education is good for individuals and the city. And this will probably become the topic sentence of this paragraph. Okay, right. And then I have an counter argument here and a rebuttal here. Remember that counter argument has always to be followed by a rebuttal. It has to form a pair. Okay, and both are based on sources. Sometimes you may have a point that are based on reasoning instead of based on the source. That can happen, but it should not be too often in your essay. I mean, most of your ideas in your essay should be based on sources. Only a small number could possibly be just based on reasoning. Okay, so in this outline, you can see all my main ideas are based on sources. In your essay, you should have more sources than this. This is only a simplified version.